gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Luminous Inverse, Lumi, Luminosity, Luminator,
The Illuminati.
the Illuminati, de-Illuminati, everything else in between.
Yo,
What's up?
this is a Summit 5. Is this a sellout? I've never seen this before.
That's pretty cool. I actually haven't seen that
Can I just
before
take this
either.
home? Alright, if this is missing from BTS, it's not me.
Don't do it, my God.
It's not me.
Lumi throwing it all away just for an
Just
mouse.
Just for a mouse.
Well, we're going to be hopping into the game right now. It's Execration
Oh,
versus
they lost.
Mineski.
Execration loss.
And it is definitely a little bit of a painful one, already taking the Oracle in the first two. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but let's set the stage slightly, because this is kind of important, you know? Like, Execration, Mineski, they played each other in the best of ones. Execration was able to take that win over Mineski. Mineski got knocked down to the lower bracket by Clutch Gamers, whereas Execration got knocked down by Fnatic, and Fnatic went on to qualify for TI 2-0 over Clutch. So clearly there's a lot of, history going on between these two teams, but Lumi, we said they lost. Oracle, is it the time to pick an Oracle?
I'm going to go to the buff right now
Okay.
to see Oracle's win rate. It would surprise me if it's higher than like 30%.
It's really not the best. And
While I look for that, you could look for
well, the thing that I'm actually going to talk about is that they haven't picked Oracle in the past month for Execration. They haven't
More
played the
reason
hero
to-
in the past month.
Oracle. Wait, why is this not working?
Dude, you're struggling.
I'm
Oh, wait, no, hold on. No. That was a bug. They have played it. They've played it 5 times. They played it 3 days ago, and they actually have a 100% win rate of it
Okay, they
over
won.
5 days.
Oracle apparently has a 61% win rate. Are we just watching like the 5 games that are lost?
I guess.
Is that what's happening?
Maybe. I guess the idea behind
What?
it is that if it's a good Oracle game, then you end up taking it. Because
They take a second phase. They don't even know if it's a good Oracle game yet.
that's a good point. It's against a Night
They're just
Stalker.
saying this hero is good. Which, alright, whatever you say it is. Alright, let me actually filter it by Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Southeast Asia is 50%. So, alright, well, you know what? I love to be proven wrong. I'm a big doubter for this hero. We've seen teams kind of just run circles around the hero. And now it's such an early pick in the draft that Mineski will have a lot of time to react to this pick. And we'll see how well they do so.
I mean, I guess the big things that got changed in the most recent patch for Oracle is that Fortune's End's a root. You have instead of the respawn talent, you end up getting an extra second added onto the max duration for him.
But
For Fortune's End, I don't think you take that one though.
it's more like it's so hard to actually get a full channel of the root. It only works if you have a full channel. It doesn't work if you do a mini baby root. And just imagine as a 5 position support standing there channeling that ult or channeling that root. It's just not a thing. Not a thing.
And then the other thing that ended up getting changed was they got an extra 50 range onto Purifying Flames.
That
which
helps.
It can make a difference. That's relatively
That makes a lot of
significant.
difference, actually.
Yeah. So in terms of what he brings to the table, early game able to find kills around the map maybe pretty effectively. The problem that we saw in the last series that we casted or that we watched of an Oracle game was that they just in the mid game they ran out of team fight. They didn't really have that follow up that you normally get out of a position 5, whether it's a Witch Doctor cask or whether it's like an Earth Spike from a Lion or something like that.
I think one of the bigger problem for Oracle is that his mana cost is very, very high. Like individually, his spells aren't exactly the highest. It's just that he is such a spammy hero because, in particular, the Purifying Flames cooldown is 2.25 seconds.
Right.
And that is your heal, that is your nuke. That's the spell that you spam a lot. And he had a huge mana nerf on the spell a while back. He's the 5 position support that may not have arcane boots for a long, long time. And we've seen many times in the past Oracle in these kind of more long drawn out team fights, you're expecting repeated saves, you're expecting a lot of heals coming out from the hero, and he just doesn't have that kind of capability. So maybe on one end it's just the teams that are just expecting too much of this hero from a 5 position, and perhaps should give him more farm. Or on the other side of the spectrum is that teams are. I still think teams are picking him too early.
Yeah.
Because Oracle is very good in terms of countering certain situations. Yesterday there was one Oracle game that lost but did very well. It was picked against the Darkseer. It was picked alongside a Bristleback, and there were instances in the game where he was like just taking over. Whether it's gonna be like this game, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, and I'm looking back at the games that they've picked it, and first of all, the big thing that stands out, of course, about Execration's drafting is they always get Puck if they can. But obviously banned out in the first phase. Mineski realized this. They got to do a little bit of studying. The other thing that they tend to take on it with Execration is a Faceless Void, which now Mineski are going to take away from them in this next round. I don't think that they could have taken it this game anyway since they went Darkseer or Jug, but it's still something else to consider.
Yeah, so sorry if we would kind of talk too much about Orko, but you know he's one of the rarer heroes, although apparently not so anymore. But the False Promise as a spell to help your ally escape is really only good if there aren't continuous disables. So the idea is, let's say your Juggernaut gets gone on, you False Promise, he gets set free and either escape or keep fighting depending on what the choice is. But now, if you False Promise Juggernaut and he's in a Chronosphere, you're more or less delaying the inevitable.
Well, yes and no, because the other thing we can think about is Fate's Edict. So let's say that it's Faceless Void hitting the Juggernaut inside a Chronosphere, you Fate's Edict the Void, and suddenly he can't attack. He's disarmed.
But it's not just about the Void, right? Because, for example, Chronosphere combines into a Witch Doctor Ultimate. So, yes, Orgo can, again, extend Juggernaut's life, but it's the Chronosphere in itself is still very amazing against False Promise. And Mineski could optimize for both physical and magic damage, then, you know, you can't save him from everything.
Totally.
So that's one aspect I think Orgos we get. The other aspect that Orgos we get is that if you just bypass whoever your frontliner is, this game is Juggernaut. I think yesterday we were casting a game where Bristleback was a designated frontliner. If you could just smoke gank around or just have a very mobile lineup that could just bypass a frontliner, then suddenly Orgo, if he's getting ran at, he doesn't want to false promise himself. You don't pick the hero for that. And I think that's going to be how Mineski is going to tackle this game. Just go to the back line with a big mag blink Chronosphere and just wreck stuff.
Oh my god, now they double down on it, the anti-mage. So it's actually going to be, as well, a little bit of a different style of game, I feel like, because anti-mage isn't really that type of hero that wants to get into fights more often than not, and this feels like it's more pick-off oriented, but then you also have this Void who's running around with a big team fight ulti. Is that just to be used to, like, I guess, what, zone out? And because it's hard to pick a melee hero with Void, right?
This is a 4 protect one. You're going to have Anti-Mage doing his thing for most of the time, and then Faceless Void is going to lead the rest of the team to take fights, objective, defend towers, and stuff like that. So, yes, to your credit, Faceless Void and Anti-Mage, when played together, doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't imagine they will be played together too often.
Okay.
Back to Execution's draft, I wonder if they could actually fit a mid Bloodseeker in here. We've seen Bloodseeker being played by Clutch Gamer as well as Fnatic. It is traditionally... Oh.
Good call.
Never mind. But I was saying
you were on it, though. That's
very, very good pick against Anti-Mage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that he doesn't... And I think also it's decent against Void, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure how the Time Walk...
You have a built-in silence. Yes, Time Walk could get rid of the damage, but as he's Time Walking, he's taking more damage.
That's what I was thinking
so
about, yeah.
It's good against Void as well, but...
Shadow Fiend now taken as well.
This is a very, very greedy lineup by Mineski. Holy crap.
That's the thing, is like you would imagine that you would want another hero here instead of a Shadow Fiend that can actually fight with the team. But Shadow Fiend kind of needs some more levels and farm before he can stay strong in a fight at the very least. He's maybe a little bit vulnerable to like an Omni Slash coming out from Jug or something like that. A lot of things can burst through him.
Can I go crazy for a second here as we see the Tinker last pick fight Execration? Mushi used to be the proponent of a mech Shadow Fiend.
Okay.
This is like a couple years back when he was playing on DK, and actually a little bit before that he would buy Mechanism on Shadow Fiend. And his idea is that you buy mech, you buy things like SMY, you buy a Butterfly, a very early Butterfly, and you could lead your team to take objective. Now, when I said that Shadow Fiend is a very greedy hero alongside Anti-Mage, we're kind of thinking more of the traditional way of playing Shadow Fiend. Totally. So he might go for more a little bit team-oriented play. Now, we haven't seen the advent of a mech Shadow Fiend for a long, long time, but Mushi used to be extremely good on the build, and we'll see exactly if you will kind of go back to that.
And that's more the style of hero that he's been playing when he's been really successful. We think about the Medusas, the DK from the other game, which felt at least a little bit more comfortable for him. Those types of heroes. And
The run-in, soak damage, tank, and
right.
siege. Yeah.
And that could be what the Shadow Fiend is. I don't hate it. I just do wonder about the mana cost issues that is the main reason that we stopped seeing it. So we'll have to wait and see if indeed that's going to be the case. Maybe you just go Greaves then Shadow Fiend. Guardian Greaves Shadow Fiend?
I don't. Well, maybe.
I mean, that's the next generation of it,
I
right?
guess. I don't know. Yeah, the reason we don't see it that often anymore is because the mech mana cost got nerfed. The bottle in itself got nerfed because the bottle used to give you much more mana regen, so you could sustain that build. But this is Mushi. He's playing a very comfortable hero for him. He used to be considered as one of the best Shadow Fiend in the world, but in this game, he, to me, has a very poor lane matchup in the form of a Tinker.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does.
That's the thing, right? So we're talking about the thought of going for like a mechanism or going for some of these other tanky items, and if they don't go for it and they go the stock and standard build for a Shadow Fiend, it might be tough for them because it's very, very greedy. That to me is sort of the crux of this discussion. It's not so much that like we think that he's gonna go for that build, but more that it might be the best build for this game, which still isn't that great for that hero. But maybe they have something else up their sleeves that we're not thinking about as well. It's a possibility. The other thing that I was kind of interested in, when we saw an Oracle do a lot of big plays in the other day, Nando Puck God, they ban it out, yeah. It's kind of sad. It was actually Gabby playing the Puck a lot the other day.
For team.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of that
team.
different team. Yeah, I'm blowing my mind.
Clutch Gamers.
Yeah. But the thing that I was looking at was Oracle against Witch Doctor. There are points where that Maledict would like be about to burst down and kill somebody off, but then you get the Fate's Edict off
For
the
sure.
last second, and that helps keep him alive.
Actually, Oracle is quite good against Witch Doctor now that I'm thinking about it, because you could just prop that magic immunity to bypass Fate's Edict damage. Or bypass the Maledict damage, sorry. Raging Potato. Ooh, baits Reor up with a Torrent.
He has an Ion Shell on him, too. This could potentially be
just follow
first
him.
blood. They have boots
Follow
on
him.
Raging Potato.
Got him. Easy first blood. Where's the turnaround casket? Oh, the baits.
Trying to get out of
The
there.
master
Ion
bait.
Shell, it's worn off. He didn't
One more
get him.
Torrent. Easy Torrent.
No, he's
9K
gonna end up
Torrent.
dying. You had to go for that one, Raging.
Gotta throw it out. You miss every shot that you don't take.
The jukes, the okie doke, but Raging
dead.
Potato. Poor Raging Potato. Did they give this to Mushi also? Wait, is he actually going to get out of there? He's got boots. He's really quick. The rest of them are
Casket.
coming in.
All right, Mushi, get the last hit. Mushi
The
does not. Ninja
Dota.
Boogie, grab it. Reor will still survive.
He's going to get out of there.
Yeah,
but look
he's
at the rest
fine.
of them. I mean, they're trying to
I mean,
chase this
I'm
down.
looking at the rest of them. Nothing happens because... All right, that was... Raging Potato, man. That was all you.
He had to go for that one.
What is this Shadow Fiend said? Why is he white?
Yeah, I don't know. This is really weird looking.
All right.
Let's check out the showcase mode. He's got Pauldrons of the Eternal Harvest.
I never knew that the set was white, but I guess my my cosmetic game isn't. The real M God.
Uh-oh. He is not actually there to block, so it looks like they're going to have Arc head up to the top lane. Shadow Fiend's block is going to be atrocious. They send Mag down bottom. They're going to run into Raging Potato again. Is he dead?
Nah,
Okay.
he still has
Base
boots.
Yeah.
Brutal, savage, ranked.
Well done, Arc.
So it's not that bad of a block. Mushi was able to salvage it at least. And now they're going to do the standard thing that you do for Shadow Fiend, which is send a support mid, zone away the enemy mid for a little bit, allow Mushi to grab a couple of souls. Like you were saying earlier during the fight, is had Mushi got the first blood there, oh my god. He goes to max souls pretty much immediately, and then he has, you know, an extra 400 gold to work with, which is easily is going to take him over in this lane.
The unfortunate problem is that Mushi, or rather, excuse me, Arc getting the first blood is going to make what's already a tough matchup for Darkseer even harder.
Did Arc get it?
Yeah, he did. And
okay.
That means that you're going to be getting... Wait, did he?
I think Night Stalker did.
Night Stalker did, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, Arc's still going to have an amazing lane down here.
Yeah. So generally, safe lane Darkseer is actually pretty decent in the sense where once you push out the lane with your Iron Shell, you get to like jungle the camps that's next to the lane and get a lot more gold out of the lane. But in this particular case, you can't do any of that because Arc is burning all his mana. With that said, Arc is playing rather close. Gonna need to pop that south.
Yeah, Raging Potato needed to come up here and help out RR because otherwise this matchup is just impossibly hard. So.
Well, I don't think Raging Potato actually provides too much of anything here. Like, yeah, he could maybe hit the anti-mage a little bit, but there's no kill potential because there's no Iron Shell mana. So he's actually here just sapping experience. So,
well, that's the pull. That's the thing that he's going to end up having to do now. So that helps a little bit, I think, is the idea that you need somebody to help you maintain lane equilibrium.
yeah, I guess so. To me, this is a case of I feel like Kunkka really not having a good home in a lane where he could actually get ganks off because his lane partners are just not that strong. I think the best lane that he could probably gank is the bottom lane where an X-Torrent into a spin might get something done, but that's also against a Faceless Void. So to me, I think Raging Potato needs to find a lot of good movement around the map to get something, anything done. And his rotation is now currently scouted by Ninja Boogie. In fact, they're setting a trap for him. They think that they're getting Mushi. In fact,
oh, God.
Raging Potato is getting the feed on.
Oh, good blocks by Rior as well. They're going to try and find a secondary body blocking with a couple of raises. This should be a kill for Mushi,
Whew.
so maxed
Beautiful.
out on souls.
Beautiful trapping set. All right, Mineski. Looking pretty good here.
Definitely. The other interesting thing to keep our eyes on is you mentioned like a potential for a kill down bottom. Even if they did manage to find like that full assortment of combos here, it's going to be tough to take down Mag and LD. Actually, X's a little bit prematurely, and now Rooted pulled back in. I don't know if that was absolutely perfectly done, and he's going to pay for it.
No, it was. This is actually very smart. They X him up, and then they channel a full route.
No, I'm saying that by Mag.
By Mag. Well, he also had to jump at that point, because if he didn't jump, the route prevents the jump from happening.
Yeah.
And then the torrent flies out, and then the spin going on at the same time. So really, it was no matter what Mag did, he was dead.
Yeah.
So that was a perfectly timed execution by Execration.
The only thing he potentially could have done would have been like to jump into the route, sort of, and try and get some type of a, not disjoint, but catch
So
it
jump
in
into the
air.
tower.
Exactly.
That would be a bow played lyrical. I don't know about that one.
Like to get over into the trees here where they can't see him, but it's still just so tough at that point.
Yep.
But 4 minutes in, looks like we are going to be getting into that first nighttime, and Night Stalker wrapping around. They're not going to be able to get into range for James. At least for now, but if he steps too far forward, this could be a kill.
They know that Witch Doctor does not have Voodoo Restoration. He's only level 2, and he's shown both his spells, so they're going to make a gank mid. But oh my god, that casket perfectly on point. And now James going to be in a lot of trouble. Mushi looking for that
Oh,
C
he
raise.
missed the raise. That would have been a kill, but a little bit off the mark, and because James had brought him so low with the rocket laser, he didn't feel comfortable going any further.
Yep. But even though the Mushi didn't get the kill mid, I feel like Mineski right now is doing amazingly in all 3 lanes. You talk about Arc just dominating R up top, Shadow Fiend, getting kills earlier, and even though Faceless Void did fall down, I feel like moving forward, all he has to do for this lineup is to be a walking chrono, and he just only needs like level 7 or 8 for that, so should be fine.
Yeah, and you compare to like what these later team fights are going to look like, and I mean, Night Stalker isn't the best at as far as like, starting and getting big combos out there for a team fight, but he can also pick off the supporty heroes in the back and get better vision for the team. Whereas Oracle is, unless he's able to like, save a key target and turn the fight around that fashion, it's going to be tough for them to take a fight.
Yeah. Comparing to what Mineski's heroes are capable of doing, I mean, obviously both sides' heroes are very strong, but Execration's hero, you have to kind of initiate in a very proper manner. Speaking of which, mid lane Mushi.
This should be a kill as they're trying to pull him back in. They have the Requiem. They aren't actually going to fully commit to it. No point up as of yet in the rearm, and the rotation comes in. James in trouble.
Yep.
He's going to end up getting taken down there. They try and turn this back around. They throw a root onto Mushi, but I don't know if they're going to have enough damage. With Night Stalker coming in as well, Raging Potato is just forced to back out.
I wonder if they got surprised by that as Mushi grabs a regen rune on top river.
God.
Easy play by the M God, which is leveling the ultimate by 6. Some players do it, some players don't. And the fact that he was able to walk into the tree, channel Requiem, actually did a little bit of damage to the Tinker on the way out. That was the game changer there. So good adjustment there by Mushi, expecting a lot of attention to his lane and rewarded by going for somewhat of an unorthodox skill build.
Yeah, definitely. And now you're in a situation where Mushi hasn't died. He's been able to get through the hardest part of being a Shadow Fiend, really, is those early levels when you're very gankable and you can just retreat to the jungle, get a couple stacks in. Do you think that there's any way still for Execration to punish the greed that's coming, or do you think at this point they're kind of past that?
I think they're past that. Like, look at Execration's lineup and tell me what is their initiation power. It's just a Kunkka, right? But you're playing a Kunkka that's been roaming around. He's actually level up Torn instead of X marks the spot. So oh, he's going to get his TP cancelled? No, in fact, they want RR instead. There is a surge back out, though. Mana Void was available, but I think Darkseid was too high of HP. So back to your question, like they need to have the Kunkka that's running around to set up kills for them, but he's too under level for that. And without the Kunkka, they just have no way to set up kills. So Mineski could just walk around and keep being greedy.
Oh, that was a good play, though. He's able to torrent from the fog, and now with the X on him, they're going to pull him back in. Mag still able to back away. So a little bit off the mark yet again, as they wanted to be able to find that kill. So missed gank on Mushi mid, missed gank on Mag bottom.
Oh, this might not be a misgang. Ninja Boogie wrapping around the mid tower. Flies, get a little bit of vision on James, but decides to not go for it.
It's not like you lose a ton on this Tinker by not going for maxing out the March build, but it does sort of hamper, at least for now, his farming capabilities.
Yep. The one thing I've noticed that Mineski is also doing better than Execration is their attention to getting stacks on. Hold that thought here. Bottom R.
They're going to try and go again.
Mag's going to hit.
Some damage.
They need to X him up again.
And they get him. They have been able to find him. They pull him back in yet again. Ion Shell, but it's not enough damage. I mean, with treads, and now he salves back up. He's full HP. They're ready to go. Oh my God, they just dropped the Chrono.
Why not? I mean, like I said, he's a walking Chrono bot, right? So the rest of the 4 Mineski players are going to just get kills, buy time, and then Anti-Mage is going to come out and be the beast that he is. Raging Potato is in a very precarious spot right now. I think he can't get Pincer down.
Yeah, this is bad. And I mean, Void doesn't last that long, but the Torn, it's not going to connect. Feeling real bad for Execration. Another slightly off the mark raise will ensure that they don't go fully forward for Raging Potato.
Yeah, the fact that the cask did not bounce back to him means the kill wasn't going to happen anyways, regardless of the raise hitting or not, so not a big deal. So my curiosity is, what build is Shadow Fiend going for? We could go for the standard, like, Hurricane Pike stuff, which is definitely a very strong sieging build. And that's, I think, more likely here.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
The other thing to kind of keep our eyes on, of course, is going to be the farm of this Anti-Mage and how quickly he gets into that Battle Fury. I guess the other thing that's kind of going to be interesting in this game is if the Oracle is able to get into levels and enough of the net worth to get into those arcanes pretty soon. It looks like they are going for another wraparound here.
Oh, but Void is here already. Are they doing a lane swap? Yes, they are. So the Anti-Mage kill that they wanted is not going to be had. And if they get the Void, like, it's whatever, I think.
Well, tough times indeed. We do have another couple of interesting things, like the Tinker Kunkka combos is always fun to watch. Oh God, they broke the smoke. They don't have any detection. An invis rune for Ninja Boogie.
Yeah. So I think the Tinker Kunkka combo is the one that where you like X the Tinker, he gets to go out and go ham.
Yeah.
That's only good if your Tinker is super farmed, especially with things like Dagon 5, where you could just like be all over the map and assassinate support heroes. We're very far away from that. Tinker, talking about his farm, he's actually doing okay. He's only 500 gold behind the Shadow Fiend. And as we know, Shadow Fiend is a exceptional farmer once he does hit the stack, so pretty good spot if you ask me.
Yeah, and he's just finished off those Boots of Travel. He actually has the 2 points in Rockets, 3 points in Laser build, so if there is a potential for a gank somewhere, this is where the map could start to open up a little bit more.
And we do see now the supports of the Dire side start to sack away. And that's one of, I felt like they are somewhat weak at. Raging Potato obviously was doing a lot of walking around finding kills, but I haven't really kept track of where the Oracle was the whole time, and I think he could have stacked a little bit more.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of stacks that are in the Radiant jungle either, so Mushi not going to end up going
Oh
back
no,
for
Mushi
that.
already cleaned up all of those stacks already. So
Well, this is a Chrono up in the top
Yep.
lane. The triple raise finds the kill. Unfortunate there for Nando. No great way out of that one.
yep, 2 Chrono, 2 kills. Not gonna lie, Mineski's game plan is working like clockwork.
And Rior is just right here. They know that Kunkka could be in the area. Tinker is going to end up TPing to the top, and actually it's a good bit of damage out onto these heroes. The tower still falls, but they take a beating on the
Ooh,
way
do
out.
you see the item that Mushi's got queued up? Yule Scepter.
Okay.
All right, so let me talk about this a bit. So Yule Scepter is a very published build on the face value, right? You Yule somebody up, you walk under it, and then you just Requiem for a solo kill. But in this game, it does have a lot of utility here. X-Torn combination, you could just use yourself, so you'd never get initiated on by that. You could dodge Omni Slashes before Diffusal Blade comes up. Mushi pops a haste rune and misses the raise.
Oh god, he gets disarmed. This is
Well,
one of the
gets a kill
fun
anyways,
things.
yeah.
You don't really end up being able to get away from that, but might end up playing a factor later.
But yeah, Yule's is not an item that you see too often anymore because the cast range of Yule's got nerfed. But I think this is the few time and places that it's going to be quite good because it doubles up as a both very strong initiation item and also a defensive one against the Kunkka.
The other thing that's so nice about it is that if we do start to see not only just the X Torrent combos, but also later on if it's X Tinker plays, you can Yule's him at the end of the duration of the X, and then he's not going to end up going back home, and suddenly he's way out of position and usually out of mana. But an X Torrent combo with the boat gonna connect onto Mag.
Jump.
Omni Slash, he's just gonna get away.
No.
Oh, Execration.
So, I mean, having your boat cooldown is not that big of a deal, but having the Omni Slash on cooldown and not getting something out of that one, Mineski is not going to be respecting Execration for the next couple of minutes. And they get to play a lot more aggressively with the Chronosphere. Speaking of which, Mag does have it in 15 seconds, so I'll be expecting a gank very soon.
Yeah. This is a big problem for him, and you can actually see that Mag going back for the Vlads at this point. This could mean that Anti-Mage goes directly into some more fighting-oriented items after the Battle Fury if they want to.
Yep.
Doesn't have to by any means, and RR going to be caught, scouted out here. They're bringing in the rest of the heroes. They are going to have boat back up in 10
nice
seconds.
X.
They are able to save as well. That Dark's here for the moment, and well, Arc going to be able to walk away, so he's fine and dandy. Looks like the rest of them will not quite get out.
RR doesn't get enough heal through the False Promise, so he had False Promise on him, had no HP. Ninja Boogie gave him the good old Void and an Urn, and despite the first uses of the False Promise, he still dies. And look at how aggressive Mineski's being right now. They are expecting somebody to defend the tier 2 mid, and they want to punish them.
Yeah, they want to get the Tinker there, and they could still. I don't know if it doesn't look like they have vision in the area, but if Mushi is able to find the Tinker here, this would just be a devastating blow. And James, he's walking back right now. Mushi gonna maybe run into him. He's gonna walk right up the hill, and
Oh, that was
you
a
have
little
a Yule Scepter.
That was a little off.
What are you doing? They still should probably be able to get this James kill, I think.
Oh
but
my god, Mushi misses another raise after.
I mean, that's the thing.
Bottom, Chronosphere has been used, and Raging Potato will get picked off as well.
All right.
Okay. We don't know when the last time Mushi played Shadow Fiend. I did say he used to be one of the best Shadow Fiend player, but right now is not. Let's just say he's not Yafit's out here.
The thing is that he's still getting
He's
it done,
#1
right?
net worth, guys. I know Twitch chat is going ham right now, but they are winning. That's what matters the most.
Exactly. I think I said it on the panel the other day that you don't get prize money scaling based on the number of kills that you get or how many raises you hit.
You should, though.
Yeah, you should, definitely. All right, Mag going to get caught in the Torrent again. That's a lot of damage. He actually just gets blown up. So a little bit too cavalier with his play. The Faceless Void drops down. Oh, Mushi.
Oh, bottom lane. Looks like they're going to try to set up another kill on Rior. Vacuum's going to miss, and Rior is going to just pour it out. So Execration essentially needs to run endless smoke ganks or smoke ganks into very key kills. I don't think even killing Mag is a key kill. You got to get the Shadow Fiend, and you got to slow down the Anti-Mage. Because you gotta imagine the other problem that Execration also faces with the current draft is they're not the best at taking objective. Like, who the hell could hit buildings at this point?
Yeah.
Nando, I guess, could do a little bit of damage to the building, so they can't really even effectively gank into tower pushing. So this draft just feels very anemic.
It does sort of have a couple of silver linings in that the healing ward is getting maxed out next for Nando. So at the very least, they'll be able to have sustain for their pushes, and just, it's that idea again, if everybody's dead, then you can just hit it with whoever's left alive.
Right. I mean, again, they only have one initiation spell, right? So they better get those kills back to back. Raging Potato pops the smoke. They are on the hunt. Again, Anti-Mage and Shadow Fiend is the target.
Well, Shadow Fiend gonna show his face in this bottom lane. All the rest of them there. Mag is gonna actually run into them, and he does have Chronosphere back up in 3 seconds. It looks like they're still heading down south, and this is not scouted out by the Radiant at the moment. But I think that they have an inkling that something is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they do get themselves a lot of space.
Oh, this is the counter smoke, though. Mineski, they want to go in for it, and Mag, with the Chronosphere, if they're able to hit this one, looks like they might just run into the Darkseer first, and I'm not sure if that's the target that you want. He's going to end up surging away, and it looks like Execration dodged the gank.
I think where both teams misses like ganks like that, I think Mineski is in the favor because Anti-Mage has...
Oh. Well.
All right, he hits that one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well done.
Got him.
Yule's Blink Dagger.
Look at the damage, dude.
Yeah.
He just chunked that Darkseer from 100% to like 5.
It's a good combo. I mean, there's a reason that people were doing it for a long time.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder if he's going to fully commit. He's got the Blink Daggers already.
Yeah.
By fully commit, I mean getting the Axe Scepter after that as well. Mag is going to eat the full combo and going to get burst down. All right, good 1-for-1 trade here. Again, even trades are all in the favor of Mineski because they got by far the better late game. But let's see if Execration could get a tower.
They do have by far the better late game, but you also, I think that like this Yule's build is also to get stuff done around the map. Like he needs to be able to be a presence and constantly be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still going to be, at the end of the day, more not like the anti-mage getting the majority of the farm, right?
Which
like,
he is.
Mushi has to get the hero kills over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Fiend currently right now is ahead in terms of net worth, but you know, we all know, we've seen anti-mage games. He's going to take over.
Well, I guess the point that I'm making with this is that if Shadow Fiend fully commits to this magical damage build until he ends up getting into that 2 damage per soul talent,
yeah,
it's all magical. And if Oracle is there and they're grouped up around,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Then you have a Fate's Edict. Suddenly, that one target that you blow up doesn't die.
Right, but you know, Requiem is also an AOE spell, a
That's
rather
true.
large one.
That's true. That's
so, my curiosity again is if he's going to fully commit for the Aghanim Scepter build. Looks like he's going to go for a BKB instead. And now the rest of the team is rotating in. Chronosphere is at the ready.
They are going to scout him out.
Ooh,
They jump
Mag
to
jumped to the wrong side.
Expecting the teammates over there, and now they go on to him. Oracle's going to be here for the save, and the turnaround boat combo. It's only going to connect onto one, but still a lot of damage being dealt onto Rior. They have the Shrine here as well if they need to use it, but he's up to full HP, so Chrono used, nothing gained.
That was one of those, like, we are committed, let's go for it, but okay.
Mushi finds himself a nice little pick off there.
Mushi styling now.
Yeah. It's what's needed. He has to do it this game. And he is going to be sort of looking over here to the side, but won't run into the Tinker. Do you think that Tinker goes for like a Hex build this game?
It depends on how well he does in the next couple of minutes. If you can find a Hex really quickly, then good. But Lotus Orb is a fairly easy counter that could come out from either the Witch Doctor or Night Stalker.
Okay.
So I think it's perhaps better to go for more of the burst damage kill build.
Yeah, that tends to be what the Aether Lens signifies, is like going into Aghanims, something like that.
Yeah, Aghanims, Dagon.
I mean, I guess the thing that I keep on seeing is that this net worth that's populated at the top by Mushi, but he's not necessarily going into like the complete and total carry build. Yep. Anti-Mage is a little bit behind the Tinker and the Juggernaut, and that's the only reason I'm slightly worried about this, especially since Darkseer is finishing off the mech and going next into the pipe, or into the Blink Dagger. So they have like the secondary form of initiation soon.
Yeah, one of the big danger of the build that Mushi's currently going for is that if you don't like he kind of reminds me of how Ursa is, where
Right.
Ursa is very strong early. You get a lot of kills, thus you get a lot of momentum. But the first couple of times you die, you lose a lot of that momentum that you gain. Like 4,000, 5,000 of his current net worth is into items like Blink Dagger and Yule Scepter that doesn't give you much right-click damage. Oh, X-Torrent Bow misses completely.
Uh-oh, and Mushi is in the back. He could run into Raging Potato here, but Lemik's in the area as well, and
That's the one you want, I think. Just Yules him.
Or just chrono him. And there's going to be a torrent. They try and turn this. Yule Scepter turn onto Kunkka. Lemik ends up disarming him, and Raging Potato not going to be saved by the Oracle this time around.
It's very interesting. Ooh, nice vacuum wall on the back line here. Rior looks like he will get pit down. Mag on the run as well. It does have yet another jump. He should be fine.
James, maybe he was there waiting to see if they could get it before the jump
Whoa,
happens.
whoa, whoa, whoa. James is going in here.
He needs that regen rune first. Yeah.
I'm surprised that they chrono one and went for the other.
Is he going in again? He wants to take this.
He has vision
the
still.
regen rune. They're going to keep it going.
The plays. He's going to get the kill, James. Maybe you do.
Oh, what? No, Mushi! Mushi! Oh.
All right, so so the previous mistakes of not getting till, that was like whatever. You eventually got the kill. But that one's huge. That's the Tinker. That's the highest net worth on the other side.
He has not been practicing Shadow Fiend, apparently.
That was not Shadow Fiend. That was just Yules.
At least this.
That was just activating an item, which mistakes do happen. So,
yeah.
but I mean,
that was a big one to have happen.
That's a pretty big mistake.
And again, it's something where it's fine and dandy if these things happen and your team is still winning, but there is a world in which Execration are going to start to become more and more difficult to deal with. It's only a 2,000 net worth lead right now. Granted, you are about to start getting into the big stacks that have been built up around the map for Anti-Mage.
We're also getting to a point where I know you think that Execration is like kind of moving forward with the items, especially with Tinker and the Juggernaut, but I think the Anti-Mage timing is about to be a big issue here for Execration. Once that Manta is finished, he can begin solo killing supports. Split push becomes a very dangerous game. He adds either Basher or, let's say, Aghanims on top of that, where he becomes a very strong defensive unit, or a very strong offensive one, then I think that's where it's lights out for Mineski. Mineski has about... Sorry, lights out for Execration. Execration has about 5 to 7 more minutes to get something big going, because if the game keep going at this current state, I think they're going to just flat out lose.
And this right here from RR is going to be one of those big things that allow them to make stuff happen. The Blink Dagger, unfortunately, it's coming about 20 gold too late, as it looks like Mineski are going in to take down Roshan. And unless this is contested, it is a huge problem for Execration to deal with.
Mushi finishes the BKB, so this is, especially with the Aegis picked up and the Mantis out finish on Anti-Mage, this is going to be Mineski one of their first peaks of the game in terms of the overall strength. They could group up and just take objective if they would choose to, or I think they could just keep on split pushing like they have been. Split up the map, have your Faces Void as well as the Night Stalker look around for kills, have Mushi walk around, get solo kills as well.
Yeah. Has himself a haster in as well.
Yeah.
Night Stalker, we talked about the Aghanims going to be on the way for him. We had mentioned the possibility of a Lotus Orb, but doesn't look like he wants to go for that yet. And Witch Doctor is actually building into a Hand of Midas, so they're all building towards these items that are at least prepping for the late game, just in case it goes to that stage.
Yeah. I think the other very important kind of timing here for Mineski is the fact that Shadow Fiend is about to hit level 20. Being able to select the, you know, extra soul damage talent is very important should he decide to go for that one.
Oh, Arc almost found the AM there. Raging Potato actually gets a hold of him. Okay. And Nando is here as well. He has Manta Diffusal Blade. Very low HP, but can he get out of there? They're chasing. They want to run him down. Can they get there in time? They are going to not quite get him. He's on the other side. Blink, is it going to be enough? No. They can't catch and kill that Anti-Mage.
Yep. Orko got a little bit greedy. He needed just root immediately to extend the chain stun. He didn't. The Aegis is still alive. Unfortunate.
Well, Mineski definitely very happy after that movement and God, this game is just so scary for Tinker. If James gets caught by either the AM or the Shadow Fiend, I think it's just lights out. Either one can blow him up instantly.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy
All right.
play.
As getting caught, he gets chrono mid, and then he's dead.
Yeah. No way out of that one.
Yep.
Ninja Boogie is going to get the silence out on the Darkseer. No Greaves at this point. Does have a mechanism. Going to pop it now. They turn to fight. Ninja Boogie is going to actually walk away, but there's the vacuum wall that they needed. Rior now going to be ran down. No more Chronosphere. They drop that Requiem off onto the Oracle's head, and that should be the death of him in spite of the false promise. So the big bad anti-mage, as well as all the rest of the heroes, whole cast and crew of characters, is taking him down.
Yep. 2 supports for a mid off lane. Mushi and his friends does win yet another huge team fight. They still have the Aegis going here on the anti-mage, so he gets to continue to punish. Not gonna lie, I think the game is over.
Yeah, I think so too.
But mistakes can happen. Mineski needs to make some repeated mistakes over and over again for Execration to have a chance. So we'll see if Execration could force a couple of mistakes with, let's say, a key smoke gank into a tier 2 push or something like that.
It feels like right now the anti-mage is the be-all, end-all. If they can find him, set up fully, and get the kill, like that one gank, if that happened and they took down the Aegis, I think that changes the entire complexion of the game.
Right, and then that means the next one kills the anti-mage, and perhaps you could get a tier 2 out of that.
Right.
So now, Tinker is one of the stronger late-game scaling heroes. He can go into a array of items that could, either kill or, like the Hex you suggested, disable. But he is also struggling himself. I love the item choice picked up here by the Faceless Void, the Shadow Blade. That also turns him into a solo killing machine, or at least sets up for the rest of his team. So if you look at it from a Tinker's perspective, this game, it's really hard to play him, the hero, because Yules into a Requiem, you're dead. Chronosphere, you're dead. Night Stalker flying over the trees finding you, you're dead. So, or Anti-Mage even finding you, you're dead. So like, we keep saying that James needs to play exceptionally, but it's so hard for him to do so.
Yeah.
And I think Execration is starting to run out of time.
If they win this game right now, it's going to be off the back of James' amazing plays. The other thing that we do have to keep in mind is that Arc is also going to be going back now for an Aghanim Scepter. So a lot of those disabling spells that we've been talking about no longer going to be functional. And well, Mineski getting set to go in towards mid. If they take this fight badly, maybe that's an opportunity for Execration to get back into it. And looking for the opening now, Shadow-Bladed Mag. He's going to run to Raging Potato. The Oracle is there as well to keep him alive, but the rest of the backline is coming in. He jumps forward, only catches the Kunkka. I think that he's still going to be okay through that. The Maggie Wall, he pulled him into a couple more, and now that laser is going to start to bounce out. The Omni Slash not doing quite enough, and Leemic is dead as well. Multi-kill, double kill for Mushi, triple as well. Can he take him down the rest of the way? Nando trying to get out of there. They are going to kill off the AM, but it's only the Aegis. So they take
could X
down
him
3.
again. All right, a little bit slow. So that was like arguably one of the worst Chronosphere that you can have, because the Chronosphere led into the rest team being vacuumed back into the Chronosphere. Great play by the Darkseer. But still, Mineski is so far ahead, and Mushi showing up with his Aghanim Scepter newly purchased that even though the Chrono was bad, it didn't matter at all. Nando might actually just be dead here. Maledict taking.
It's a lot of damage. He's going to get back in time.
Okay,
I think he's fine. And the problem is that the rest of their barracks is dropping so quickly. And I mean, I guess you got the disarm there, the vacuum onto 2 with the torrent.
Nice.
It's a decent start, but it is a lane of barracks, and that hurts.
Now there's an Ags on Arc, so he becomes super hard to gank.
Oh, all right. They got sight of Rior. There's going to be a torrent to follow, and not quite there. Oh, Raging Potato.
Jeez, just TVs out.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
There's a lot of mom spaghetti on the floor right now. Everyone's missing their combos. X-Torrent should never be missed unless you're, being stunned or whatever.
You know what? It might have been that the torrent was on cooldown from
Okay,
earlier.
that's fair.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. All right. So sorry about the flames. Maybe
It's
not
okay.
mom spaghetti.
So I think that you've got, with Ags, a little bit more HP on the anti-mage. He's at 2100 right now, but not invincible. And being down a lane of barracks as a Tinker is not the end of the world either. So it's really tough, but if they can catch and kill the anti-mage a couple of times, that's where maybe your game starts to come back together. And they haven't shut down all the map control either. Like if they pick up a gem on Radiant, which they do have on Night Stalker now, like this is the period where
But
they have to punish.
How do they kill the anti-mage?
Right.
He has Ags, right? Like Tinker's working towards Hex, so you need, I guess, to break the Ags and then Hex him, and then I guess Omni Slash on top of that. But that's a lot of things that needs to go properly for them. I guess you hope Matt chronos his team. That there's also that, because he came close to doing that last time, right? He chrono only one person and Darkseer vacuumed them in. So there's also R making a huge play.
I think that this right here is the time when they have to do something, because as soon as the rest of these wards go down, they're completely dark around the map. And if they don't make use of the vision that they have, either smoking towards a ward or whatever else, waiting for them to get dewarded, it's just going to make the game that much harder.
Yeah. It's hard to say what is the right play here for Execration. They are just so far behind. They need to start to take like very big risks, like you said, like just go out there, make something happen. Because waiting, I don't think is the appropriate move.
Well, Raging Potato has himself a Glimmer Cape, an Aether Lens, Jaboogie being very difficult to deal with, and it almost doesn't matter now that you've got for this more spell-casting oriented build from Mushi, because everything else is working. It's just the AM show.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Shadow Fiend, it looks like a really rare build, but imagine in certain different lenses that he's like a Lina or a Queen of Pain or even a Puck that's just walking around, kind of playing a tempo controller.
No.
Except a tempo controller that could just blow up anybody. So if you kind of think about it from that perspective, it's very fine. Like when the hero was first selected, I was like, oh my god, that's really greedy. And then we thought, we kind of looked at how the game progressed. I talked about the mech build, which again, it's a little bit past its time, but this is a similar style, right? Where you don't play the right clicker, where you don't suck up all the resource on the map. Instead, you walk around, control the tempo, control where the enemy can be, and get kills.
Totally.
I say that he's still the top net worth, so maybe he is sucking a bit of net worth out of the map, but
That's farming heroes, though.
yeah.
All right.
He's 10-0-5.
Yeah. In spite of the missed raises, in spite of everything else, it's been a pretty good game for him overall. This is the point where they want to try and go for a big play. It is daytime for another 2 minutes, or at least until that ulti is off cooldown. So 60 seconds to make something happen. Execration have to do it now, or it only becomes harder.
But at the same time, this is very obvious. There's a Marcher Machine later on their
Mushi,
Ancients.
he's on the cliff.
Okay. He's fine. He's got Yule Scepter to defend himself. Although now the Diffusal Blade is up too, so they can purge off the Yules and Omni Slash right on top of that. But that was the Smoke Gambit. It did not work, and now it's Mineski's turn.
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily want to walk into this, though. It's still not entirely safe, and it does look like Mag is going to be scouted going into there, I believe, since there was a ward in the area as well as a sentry. So
I think this is
Roshan's going on.
This is a unnecessary risk. They could just wait for nighttime. There's no pressure for them to do the Roshan right now.
What? This seems so peculiar, and if they end up losing this fight right here, this could potentially be a huge setback for them. And another torrent, they drop it in, back wall. It's not quite on the mark, the full combo. That was a much-needed hit from Execration that turned into a miss.
It feels like Execration, where the combo, they just needed like one more stun, you know? Like, the Vacuum was good, the Torrent was good, they just need one more stun to chain it into the bolt. Oh, Yule Scepter finds him, and here comes the Requiem. Get out of there, Raging Potato. Here comes a False Promise, but is that the one that you want to False Promise? The Oracle goes down on the backline, Kunkka sure to go down as well. They get the Aegis on the front, Arc finds Nando. Nando is going to try to spin himself out of there, but there is no way to go except to death.
Yeah, that really hurts. He even got first hit bash when he was heading in, and, well, it was all an elaborate bait, as Leemic a little bit upset about the situation, I'm sure. They are going to end up probably losing more here. 50 seconds, no jug. I mean, you do a hell of a lot of damage with the Tinker, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Mineski from assaulting their high ground. They didn't even use Chrono there. I think that James is just dead now. They jump forward. Oh, okay. All right. Well done, James.
Get some players.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, there's the Yule Scepter lift up, and James now under duress. He accepts his fate. Vacuum wall. Nothing. GG gets called, and it felt to me like an outdraft more than anything else. This was... Honestly, Execration played better. I really do think that they did. There were so many misplays on Mineski's lineup, but they just got outdrafted. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't say they played better. I don't know about playing better. I felt like both teams were really sloppy. I do agree with the point with being outdrafted. Especially in that last team fight, that's where I looked at Oracle and be like, what the hell did that hero provide?
Yeah.
If they had another hero that could help with the chain stunning, which is the point I keep going back to, Arc just felt immortal the whole game. I mean, he got close to dying once, but apart from that, they just lacked Disable. Especially in the early parts of the game, they were setting up some really hard to kill ganks on Mag in the safe lane there, where they were Xing him, they were throwing out roots there. If they just had a real stun for a second, if they had like a Rasa Shackle or anything.
Well, the other thing too is if Fortune's End was a different type of spell. Like I'm imagining here, instead of you having to click on a target, what if you could click Fortune's End from longer range on the ground in one particular spot? You like channel it from far away. It's an AoE route. Like,
have you not
that's
seen
kinda
that
cool.
combo?
With the courier?
With a courier. You just like target your courier, channel it, and then burst courier speed in right on top of the hero, and then you just root them.
Or you could channel it on the Darkseer.
Or you just pick Rasta.
Yeah, or you just pick any other hero. I mean, the nice part about it, again, is the AoE route. It's kind of cool. But that's going to do it for game number 1 as we get ready to head into game number 2. It's the SEA playoffs. Self-Lyrical as well as Lumi, your two casters for this one. Mineski,
Are we switching streams?
I don't believe we are, because I
Okay.
think that NA is in their 3rd game.
Okay,
so
cool.
we have one more in here, and then we are going to go over to the mainstream and, you know, be cool kids. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
I'm already cool.
Yeah, everybody, Lumi's out of here. I'm going to do one last little outro. See you guys in a few for game number 2.